Good day, fret friends. I'm Victor. I am your fret friend, and I think just about final project of the week. A new guitar on the bench. It's just coming to Friday afternoon. We are round about 12:45. Is that in the PM? It will be now. And we have a lovely guitar in. It's a limited EC-256. I've had this model in before, not this particular guitar. And it's a brand new guitar. Well, it's 2 months old, but it is not without problems. And it's, again, sad for me to say that import guitars and frets. This guitar has frets all over the place. It has at least 7 high frets, and it is going to need a complete fret level. And that really is a shame. I'll show you the guitar. Here it is. Set neck or glued in neck. Beautiful maple top. Again, well-made guitars, designed by ESP, made in China. But again, the frets all over the place, and this is a shame. The owner of his guitar is known to me. I've done a couple of his guitars before. He's a great guy. It's really sad for me to say when someone brings a guitar in and they find out that I do a new guitar setup for £35, and we can take advantage of that if it's a new guitar. Normally I do that when the guitar is within around about a month old. You bring the receipt. If it's new, I will do you a setup for 35 quid. And there you go. So I told him that and he was whooping, but then we checked with frets and I says, look, one, you're out of the 1 month period, but I'm still going to do you a 35 quid setup because you're a good client. But it needs a complete fret level. And a fret level is £100 because it is a lot of work. Because it's not just a matter of levelling the frets. Once they're all levelled, you've got to recrown them, then you've got to polish them, and polishing them takes hours. 5 or 6 grits of sandpaper, finishing off with steel wool, and it's time consuming, and I have to be paid for my time. So what I've done with him is, he also wants something else. He wants the pickups changing, and I suggested you go and look at some iron gear, and he's gone for an iron gear set. Blues engine in the neck, dirty torque in the bridge, fantastic pickups. So I'd normally charge, what would I charge for that? £30 for installing 2 pickups. So there you go, fret level, 2 pickups, blah 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 blah. You're looking at £135. I've told him I will do it for £100 plus the price of the nut and a set of strings. So he's getting it all done for £115, which is good. He's saving a bit. He's spending a bit more than he wanted to, but at the end of the day, you are future-proofing the guitar. The frets will be done, will be levelled, recrowned and polished. It means the guitar will stand in good stead, at the very least, for the next year. I do recommend you always get your guitar set up once a year, no matter whether it needs it or not. Always have it checked over. So his guitar will be in fine stead for the future. The new nut I am going to go with is, I don't know why they do this, but Schecter do this and Limited do this, Ltd. They always put these crappy plastic nuts on and they look hideous, and everyone knows they look hideous, and they are hideous. And we're going to replace that with a Graphtec nut, probably Tusk or New Bone. Tusk, T-U-S-Q, is a man-made substance, self-lubricating, as is the New Bone. They replace the what you call natural substances, bone and ivory, which I would not use. Don't kill animals to use the bones. But anyway, that said, so we're going to put a Graphtec nut on there. I would normally charge in the region of £40 for fitting a new nut, because it has to be carved, cut and fitted. That includes the price of the nut. So really, 170 quid's worth of work is getting for £100. So that is not too bad. So what I'm going to do is, I'll check the guitar over, make sure the electrics are all right, and I'm going to oink the strings off. We're going to knock the nut off. We're going to get the pickups out, put in the new pickups. In fact, I won't put the new pickups. I'll take the old pickups out. Won't put the new pickups in until I've done the fret level. So I'm going to get it all prepared and set, ready for a fret level today. And all being well, I've got a good few hours. I could get the fret level done this afternoon, and tomorrow maybe I could get them all recrowned and polished. We'll see how we go. So I will crack on with that, and I shall come back and give you an update. I don't know, a few minutes, an hour, whatever. Stay tuned. So one thing we need to do, to replace the nut, we need to measure it and get its size, and we need to get rid of it because we've got level with frets anyway. So getting rid of a nut is not as straightforward as you think it might be. You can't just knock it off, because in the past, where the veneer on the top of the headstock or whatever, where the lacquer meets, you can chip it and you can rip off a chunk of wood. I've done it in the past, and learning by mistakes is an expensive business sometimes, as it was in that case. So what I've done is I've taken a Stanley knife, and I have gone and cut where the nut meets the headstock, and we've just cut through the lacquer. Erring on the side of caution, cutting more on the nut side than the headstock side. And what we're going to do then is we're going to take something like a not straight edge, we're going to place it where the nut is, we're going to lay it down, we're going to take a small fretting hammer, nylon end, a brass end, we're going to hit it with a nylon end, and we're just going to tap it ever so gently, and all being well, if we've done it right, it should just knock straight off. And there you go, look at that, and we fold away, and all being well, it's trying to bring some crap with it, as they always do. But there you go, there is some lacquer on there, but we have not damaged the guitar in any way. That is absolutely fine. So what I need to do now with this is, so you put some glue with it, can't avoid that, and a little bit of wood. We will fill that with some epoxy to seat the new nut right. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of sandpaper, and I don't need to be on a completely flat surface, even though it does help. Let's give a flat surface, and you can see, can you see where I am there? No, you can't, you can here though. Some sandpaper, and we're just going to just knock off the excess glue off this nut, or the excess lacquer. And then I can measure it. So I'm going to get a caliper, and we are going to measure that nut. So bear with me, I didn't get my caliper out, I should have done. And that way I'll know exactly which nut I need to go and buy. I already have it in my mind that it is going to be a part number PT-6643, which is normally right for an LTD or a Schecter guitar. And why do I know that? Because I'm always replacing Schecter and LTD nuts, because on the import guitars they are rubbish. And there you go, we're at 0 millimeters there, all zeroed out. I'm going to measure, and I'm going to think this is about 6 wide by about 8 high. Width wise 5.9, 5.81, that's great. Height, it's going to be about 8-9 mil I think, 8.12. So let's convert that to, well, it's actually 8.5 on the highest point. Let's go again. We'll convert that to inches, because you have to buy these in imperial. 8.44, that's 0.333 inches. And we'll also check the 5.9 or 5. Whatever it is. .8 wide, so 5.9 is a pretty good 5.9. So the 5.85, that is 0.23. So what, 0.33 by 0.23 width wise. I'll write all this down in a minute. We're going to be looking at 43-ish, are we? .42.3, which in inches, 1.64. Let me write these figures down, and I know what kind of nut I'm going to be purchasing. So, bear with me a second, grab a pen. 0.33. 0.23 and 1.664. That's in inches, millimeters again. We're looking at 42.3 I believe. Yep. 42.3 by we're just about 6 mil there. Like 8.5. So I will go and get the equivalent Graphtec nut. There's one of 2 I could possibly get. I can't recall the numbers off the top of my head. One is certainly a PT-6643, which I suspect might be the right one. It may be a little bit wide, we can always sand it down. So that's it, we're going to crack on with that. Once I've got that ordered, I'm going to come back, we're going to set this neck straight, and we're going to look at checking the frets on camera so we know that we're not diddling anyone, everything's all above board, and we'll move on from there. before we crack on with checking the frets, I thought, while I'm here, I've got to remove the pickups anyway, so we are going to remove the pickups. But what I always do when I'm removing the pickups, whether I know the guitar or not, is I make a little map of where things, not so much where things go, but what wire goes to where. And I already know how to wire these guitars with 2 volume, 1 tone. We have a pull-push split coil on these, so I already know the split coils go to middle lug on the back of that pot. But when it comes to the hot wire and the earth wires, I know the earth wires go to the back of the pot and the hot wire goes to lug 1, but I do like just to write a little key there, a little map. We've got, there you go, bridge, neck, in this order, volume, volume, tone, from the back, volume, volume, tone, bridge goes to the first volume, neck goes to the second volume, lug 1 is hot, lug 1 is hot. Really that simple. I already know the earths go to the back of each and the splits go to lug 2 on the push-pull part of the tone pot. So that's just for my reference. I will be able to read that, no problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the pickups, and it's just a matter of get my soldering iron hot. I have a brand new solder station. It's a Hakko FX888D, great piece of kit. Been thinking about buying one for years. Finally took the plunge, bought one, and I do not regret it one bit. I'm just hoping I'm warm enough to remove these wires on the back of the pots. Wiring inside these, pretty good. I don't think I've got that quite hot enough, because I've got the wrong tip on here for doing this, and I can't quite get the angle. What I really should have done is I should have took the knobs off and loosened the pots, but let's have a go, see where we are. That is not hot enough. Let me up temperature to, let's go all the way, 480, in fact 479. There you go. We'll give that a moment or two to heat up. So I've already checked which pickup is which. What I could do with that is I could possibly remove. Then again, I should have done this off camera. I should have basically unsoldered these split coil wires. Are they down on the bottom? They are. They've got the split down on the bottom on this one. That's interesting. Slightly reversed, but it doesn't matter. I know where that goes when it gets to putting it back together. I should have removed these pots, but there you go, there's one. I will remove the pots when I put these back in. There's 2, that's good. Okay, the hot wire should come straight off. Don't want to zoom in so you can have a look. So bridge pickup there, neck pickup here. Neck pickup's grey, bridge pickup is black. Just going to get in there, just desolder. I'm not going to remove any solder yet, not worried about the excess, what's on there. There you go, that one's pinged off, and all being well, I should just be able to get enough heat on there. I should not be using a chisel tip for this, I should be using a 30-degree tip. Just so you can get warm enough. There you go, that's off. Same with the neck pickup. If any other wires pop off, it's no big deal. I know what goes where. I don't like mini pots. This has got 2 alpha mini pots in there. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind alpha pots. It's just the mini ones. Don't do a lot for me. I like to see full size pots. Definitely leaded solder in here because I can smell it. So I want to keep my face away if I can. Okay, there's that one, and we just need to hopefully get enough on that. Keep the flex out of the way, we don't want to be melting anything, otherwise I'll be rewiring a lot. And that again is time. There you go. We've got another earth wire just pop off, but that's okay. So the wires I need to be off are off. That's good, so we can turn the guitar around, which I'm going to do. Just zoom out just a little. Turn the guitar around, hopefully you can see enough of the guitar. You can almost see the pickups, but these now should come straight out. Just need to take the last 2 screws out. And what I can do then is I can get the new pickups installed onto the pickup ring, which will be good. Ready for going in after I've done the fret level. I'm not putting the pickups in until after I've done the fret level. That way I don't need to worry about getting any filings from the frets or from the steel wool on the pickups themselves. So let's remove the bridge, black, and the neck, grey. stick those in the pot. In fact, we won't. We're going to separate those two because we don't want them together. And there you go. That's the pickups out. We're now ready to move on to getting the neck straight and checking the frets. I'll be back in a few minutes and we'll get that done. Fourth different angle of the day, I think, on this guitar. But anyway, I've got the camera at this angle just so I can show you that the neck is dead straight before we check the frets. And I will just check again, just eyeball that. It looks like we're a little bit, tiny bit up on this end, so it means we've got a little bit of backbow in there. So what I need to do is just give a very slight turn on the truss rod, just loosen off just an nth, probably a 32th of a full turn, just to make sure that we have this neck as straight as we can possibly get it. You're never going to get them absolutely perfect. Right, I've got a little bit of relief in there, so we need to go back a 64th of a turn, I think, because necks are not always absolutely straight. You do get a bit of undulation up and down, but what we're looking for is the best average. So I would say that that is level. Well, I won't just say it, it is level. Take my word for it. So what we're going to do now is we'll take a fret rocker. If you've not seen one of these before, there are 4 different lengths. And this is laser cut, it's milled perfectly flat, and what we do is we have 4 lengths so we can check 3 frets at a time. And as we come further across the neck, we turn over and turn over and turn over, so we always check 3. And the reason we always check 3 is if it's a high one, it will rock. So I've not written down, I already checked these frets, I know there's 6 or 7 are rocking, I don't know which ones they are, so I've got the piece of paper, I've got a marker pen where I'm going to mark them off on the fingerboard, on the fret itself, and I'm also going to write down what fret it is. So we're going to go 3 at a time. Straight away, number 2 is rocking. Now, if 2 is rocking, that's saying this one is high, but it could also mean that this one is low. We check 3 positions: outside, inside, middle, as I look at it, not as you look at it. So the middle one, fret 2, middle area, as a high spot. So I'll write down on here, I'll just put down fret 2 and I'll put area 2. And we'll just so on and so forth. Fret 3, area 1. And we are talking fine margins, but a high fret is a high fret. 4 is good. 5, area 1, area 2, area 3, fret 5, all of it. I'll just put an X there, that means all 3. I'll just keep going. Just let me get, I didn't mark it. Fret 3, area 1, fret 5, all of it. And this is, I may have measured 7 with the strings on, with the neck not straight, but now my neck's straight, we'll get a proper reading. Fret 6 is good. Fret 7 is good. Fret 8, area 3, area 2. So fret 8, areas 2 and 3. Fret 9, hang on. Where are we going? 2 and 3, fret 8, that's middle and far side. Let's get my bearings here for a second. Fret 9, good. 10, area 1, area 2, area 3, fret 10. You are listening for rock, that's all you're doing. Fret 10, again, is all 3. That's already 5 high frets up to fret 10. So we're warranting a complete fret level. 12, area 1, area 2, area 3, fret 12. On fret. It's a new guitar. This is, I mean, I say new, you don't know how long we've been sat in a warehouse. Fret 13 in the middle, area 2. Already we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 high frets, or 7 frets with high spots. 14, area 3 and 2. So yeah, you don't know what condition they've been kept in what warehouse, in what part of Asia. You don't know how long they've been on a ship for, how long they were stuck in a warehouse in the country of destination. Up here not so bad. We've got number 115, 17, fret 19, area 1, area 2, area 3, the whole fret, fret 19. '20 is good, 21 doesn't matter because it's the second to last fret. It is high in areas 2 and 3. So fret 21, 2 and 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 high frets with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 22 high spots over 10 frets. So I'm going to mark them all off, and what I'll do is when I change the camera angle to back into the normal position, I will hold the guitar up and I'll show you all of these frets. Now I've done this absolutely live, you've seen me do it, and you've seen me check the frets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to check them again with the fret rocker. There's one thing I like about me filming everything is that you are seeing everything and there are never any arguments later. So let's check that the neck is straight. I assure you that the neck is straight. Beautiful. In reverse order, and I'm not going to look at the thing, but in reverse order we're going to listen for a rock on each fret. There you go. That's 2, 3, 4, fret 5, 6, 3 areas on that, fret 7, fret 8, fret 9 and fret 10. We have 10 frets with high spots, like I say, 20 areas over 10 frets. So when we come to levelling these, we're going to level the lot with a levelling beam. This is a gubbins I use. This is milled flat, both sides. It's a piece of box section, steel box section, 2 inch by 1 inch. We have 400 grit on that side, 240 grit on that side. The levelling will be done with a 240 grit. Once we are level, we'll finish off with a 400 grit, which will remove some of the thick scratches and leave thinner scratches, make it easier to polish them off later. I'll show you that more in depth when we've got the neck all taped up. We'll be taping up between the frets so we don't get any residue or any sand or any filings under the fret or into the wood. It'll protect the wood. We don't need to cover the pickups now because I've already removed the pickups. We'll tape up the holes over the pickups so we don't get any crap in there. And we'll get these levelled and I'll show you that when we get to it. So with my camera, my fan whirring in the background and my camera that is now only displaying an upside down picture on the LED screen, the ribbon, something happened to the ribbon on when you turn your LED screen around to 180 degrees and the ribbon is not working. So my camera is, at the moment as I'm looking at it, it is upside down. It makes it really, really awkward to zoom in and out, but you know, we do our best. So what I have to do is I have to set it up upside down, set it off camera and just hope I've got it in the right place for working. It makes things really, really awkward. But anyway, we are going to zoom in and we'll explain where we are and what I've done. And that's about as close as I can go. So I've been at the truss rod. We have set the neck super straight or straight, level. Check again, that is fine. And I hope that I've marked up the frets that need levelling. What I'm going to do is we'll go across again with the fret rocker. Just make sure these ones are rocking. In fact, I should check the lot, shouldn't I? Every area. Just in case I missed anything last time. I know it was all the way across. Is that fan bugging you? You know what, just for brightness, let's just turn the fan off for a moment and go back across the ones that are rocking. Just so we know everything's right. So I've emailed a camcorder repair guy based in England to see what he's going to charge me to repair that camera, because I've been looking at some replacements. I've been looking at some other Canon ones. I do like the Canon brand because you get remote controls. Well, you don't get them with me, you have to buy them separate. And I like having the remote control. They're like 160, 170 quid. For a, says new other on eBay, which basically means used, but they've only used it once or twice and we don't want you to think they've used it. And I've emailed a few of those and I says, okay, if it's no other, do I get a 1 year warranty with it? And come back and says no. I says, well, it's not effing no other then, is it? It's used. You know, well, I didn't swear. I felt like swearing. So I think be in my best interest to get mine repaired, because my camera has been fantastic for the 4 or 5 years I've had it, and I bought it used then for I believe £135. It's been great. Anyway, here we are with the frets all checked with the fret rocker. I'm not going to have any sounds on today, and what I'm going to do is, because there's so many, we will be doing them with the levelling beam, which I've shown many times before. Let's whiz through it. Levelling beam, blah 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 blah. There you go. 2x1 steel box section. Milled flat edges there and there. 240 grit on that side, 400 grit on that side. I'm going to just go across the whole lot, level everything, and that's fantastic. But I find it better and easier to go with a flat file first. Let me just zoom out because I'm getting all over the place. All over the place because the camera's upside down. I prefer to use my flat file. It's a Swiss file by Valorbe. It's a number 4 cut, which is a very smooth but very sharp cut. It's beautiful. And I like to use the one with the flat side of this, and it's just a matter of going across where it's high and filing until there's no more resistance. And once there's no resistance, I know that that fret is level. And I do the locks, and it's by no means a perfect way of doing it. It's not levelling all of them as I do with a beam, just basically removing the high spot on that one fret and this one next to it here. And once I start getting resistance, I know it's level, because the frets around it that don't need levelling are acting as a guide. I'm not carving into all 4. And if I just check those 2, which I've now done, they should be level, and they are. How wonderful is that? This one here, got the whole fret. So again, make sure I've got flat side down. And that one should now be done. I'm sorry, but I'm watching a woman out the window. She's a neighbour a couple of doors away, and she's the worst reverse parker you've seen in your life. She's had about 6 goes at reversing her car outside her house, and it's not even a confined space. She's got the full length of the road, and she's had about 5 goes at going backwards trying to get near the curb, and it's really quite funny. And it's a bit odd not to feel sorry for her in a way, because I'm thinking, how can you pass your test if you're that bad? But you know, really shouldn't record it, should I? That's not very nice at all. So we're working his way up these frets. Just keep marking, let's mark the ones. It would be an idea for me to actually write these down, which ones they are that need doing, but all these now should be level. So in effect you're really watching a live video now. I would love to live stream and record at the same time, that'd be fun. And maybe I'll get some subscribers there. And that'd be good. You could watch me live, but you could also watch it at a later date. But anyway, let me just get a piece of paper. I'm going to write down the numbers of these frets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. We've got 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. 19 and 21. And write down the areas. I like to do area 2, area 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So on the first one, number 8, we've got area 2. On number 10, we've got areas 2 and 3. On number 12, we've got all areas, so I'll put an X there, that's 1, 2 and 3. Fret 13, area 2. Fret 14, 2 and 3. Fret 19, all areas, and fret 21, 2 and 3. And that shows me what fret number. Can you see that? Am I going the wrong way? Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. The top one shows the fret number and what area of the frets. X is all 3, 2 and 3, 2, 2 and 3, X, all 3 again, 2 and 3. So I know which areas of the frets. It's always good to have a key or a map so you know which ones you're going to, just in case you rub the pen off. So anyway, back again, clean the file, go back at it. Like I say, you'll get resistance. Once you stop getting resistance, you know you've got it down to the level you need it to be at. I like to do one fret at a time. And when I've got a few close together that all need doing, you try and do one at a time. You can't really do that because you're going to be hitting the ones behind it anyway. So it's best to have that map just to know, or that key, just to know which frets you need to be reducing. So okay, that's good. Fret 10, areas 2 and 3. Again, flat side down. Good. 2 and 3. Very good. A little bit there still. Next fret should be okay, we're checking away. Fret 12 should be all areas. Fret 13. Just in the middle, fret 14, areas 2 and 3. So these 3 frets, hoping you can see from there, we've got all areas of fret 12, area 2 of 13, and 2 and 3 of 14. Then the next 3 frets are at the correct level, as are the next 3 this side. So we just need to we'll bring these 3 down together because we can do that, because the ones around them need no material removing. So once we get to the point of no resistance, we know that these 3 frets are level. Well, it's going to take a little bit more work because I'm going to have a lot of resistance because I'm filing 3 frets at once. And the file will tell you when you're done, because that resistance, there won't be any. And that feels pretty good across all 3. Because it's now gliding across all of the frets. So I'm going to come down to area 1 on fret 12, because remember we have to do the whole of that fret. When you do this, you've got to make sure you've got a really flat file, otherwise you're just going to knock all the other frets out of whack. That feels pretty good. Maybe I should have cleaned that file halfway through, but I've cleaned it now. And let's just check these 3 frets again. And that is gliding across now. So that will tell me that these 3 frets are now all level. So let's check them. And they are not quite there. Pretty good. Now that feels pretty good. 12 all the way across is good, 13 in the middle, 14 areas 3 and 2. And we are good. So 2 more to do. There's 19 and 21. Using a file makes this job a lot quicker. Let's check these areas again. The file's a lot quicker than the levelling beam or the sanding beam. So, a bit of work to do on this one. Well, these 2. Again, I'm going to do them both together. It's such a shame that someone's bought a 2-month-old guitar to me and it needs all these frets levelling. Yeah, what can you say about that? This is a one-way cut file, so when I was pushing it the opposite way, I was getting resistance in the opposite direction. Doesn't matter because we will be recrowning and polishing the whole lot anyway. It is a complete fret level with a complete setup and 2 new pickups installed. So we've got a lot of work to do on this. There's a whole day in this, quite easily. So anyway, let's check these. We'll check 21. We put 19 all the way across. And that is beautiful. And we have those frets. Well, you'd think they'd be completely levelled. They're not completely levelled. They are levelled in as much as all the frets are filed are level with the frets around them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a different colour pen because I like to use a red one a lot. The green one I don't use so much, so I use the green one. And I'm going to level the lot in one go, which I'm going to do now with the beam. I'm going to pen over all of the frets. And what I'm looking to do now is with the levelling beam is to bring the pen off every single fret in just a few strokes. And if that does happen, it means that the frets are level all across the board. If not, it means there's a couple of high ones somewhere and we need to just file the lot or sand the lot to make them all level. We're going to use a 240 grit, which is really going to put scratches in these frets, which means we've got to highly polish them later. We'll be polishing them with 6 different grits of sandpaper, going lower in grit or higher in number but a much finer grit each time, finishing off with steel wool. But first we're going to go with a 240 grit, and if this comes off pretty quickly, I'm going to turn over and just finish it off with the 400 grit just to remove some of the scratches and smooth the frets off. So all being well, if everything's level now, this pen will come off really quickly. And I'm not pressing down, I'm just letting the beam do the work. Following the radius, and that looks pretty good to me. I'm not going to rub anything off, I'm going to brush stuff off because then I can see the frets properly. And are the tops of those frets all silver? They most certainly are, and that is beautiful. A little bit there. And that looks fantastic. That means that the frets are level down the whole length of the neck. And that's as much as the levelling takes. So I'm going to wipe again. I've got a pen again. I'm going to go with red this time. I'm going to go with the 400 grit now. Now you may see, with your eyes, all of these frets now have a flat top. which means they're going to all want recrowding. The good thing about them all having a flat top means they are all level, because every fret has been touched and has been sanded. So we will obviously lose a little bit of height on the frets, but not too much. You're talking probably less than 1/10 of a millimetre. And there you go, they're all red. And we're looking to do exactly the same again, just with the finer grit of paper, 400 grit. There we are, all done. The pen is removed from the top of all the frets. These the frets are level. What we need to do now is get this neck taped up to protect the wood on the fingerboard. And we need to go and recrown the frets. By recrown I mean put that arc back in there where we've flattened them across the top. We're going to put that arc back in. We're just going to run across with the fret rocker just to make sure we have no high spots anywhere else now. I love this job. I know it's long-winded and it doesn't make me a lot of money doing this job because it takes a good 3, 4, 5 hours, well 4 to 5 hours to do this job with a setup. And so basically you're talking almost a full day. And I'm charging 100 quid for this. You know, if I did 4 setups a day, just 4 setups would take me 6 hours. That'd be 200 quid. Do one of these a day, it's 100 quid, so I know what I'd rather be doing. It just seems that I mostly do fret levels and fret work. I'm not moaning. I love my job. I actually can earn a living from my hobby. How blessed am I to be able to do that? And I work from home. What blessings they are. Praise the Lord for that. But there you go. All the frets are now level. So now we're going to get this all taped up. We're going to get recrowned, get them polished, and then we can move on to the other part of the job, which is installing the pickups, sorting out the electrics, and blah de blah. Stay tuned, guys. Okay, fret friends, crowning the frets. You've probably seen this many times before. I explain it on virtually every fret leveling video I do, but you know, let's go right. So we're going to use 3-edge file. There you go, 3 surfaces. Each edge has a safe edge there. It's been ground, so it hasn't been ground flat, it's been ground smooth around it. Now this file works is the frets, imagine the frets are now flat on the top. We need to put that arc back in and call the crown. So what we're going to do is I'll put pen across the top of the fret. It's about 2 mm wide. And what we're going to do is we're going to create that arc, and I explain how to do it with this file. As I file this side, I arc the file towards the camera on the far side, and from this side arc it away from the camera, and we're going to rebuild that crown. Once we've rebuilt that crown, we'll have a nice thin line down the middle of the fret. What I'll then do is I'll go down with the profiling file just to even up anything that's not straight, remove any burrs, and I'll be back in a second. Apologies for that, I had a client come around, pick up a guitar. I knew he was coming round but had forgot all about it. So back to where we were, and I'm sorry if the camera angle's changed, but anyway, back to where we were. We are going to basically recrown this fret here. Like I say, I'll straight across it and angle the file toward the camera on the far side, like so. Just angle it toward there, backwards and forwards, and some nice long strokes, like so. I'm going to wipe the file, go to the far side, and go to the near side to the camera. I'm going to do the same again, and we just have a thin black line right down the centre of that. We'll put that crown back in, and all we're going to do now is we're going to go with the profiling or the crowning file itself. Make sure it's clean, just across to remove any burrs or any unevenness in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to crown that edge and crown that edge, and that's going to give us that beautiful upside down D shape on there. I have slightly, I've not gone into the fingerboard, but it is put a real thin line in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this properly. I'm going to tape up this fingerboard so we don't put any lines in anywhere. And I'm going to get the rest of them done. I'll just show you quickly again how we do what we do. Far side of this one, straight across, angle This side, same again, angle away, and there you go. Nice thin black line down the centre. Blow the rubbish away, profiling file, back across the top. This is not removing height, it's just evening off that lovely crown and the edges there. And what we do is we take fret rocker, just make sure we've not removed any height. I know we haven't removed any height because the black pen's still there. And there you go, that is how we crown frets. These two are beautiful, lovely, beautiful crown on each. I've got 20 odd more to do, 19, 20, whatever. But I'm going to do it proper. I'm going to tape up fingerboard just so we don't mark anything. I'm going to get these done. Once that's done, we can move it over here, get it onto a refretting bench, and we can get these all polished up, get the new nut on, and then we can move on to the electrics. Quick update on the LTD 256 because I've got that much working at the moment. I don't have a lot of time to be faffing about with videos, so I'm just going to rush straight through. I've polished the frets with various grits of sandpaper. I'm just about to finish off with steel wool. I'll just grab some. And I'm just going to show how simple and easy it is. And what I always do first is I go up by the side of the bevels, like so. And then it's just a matter of straight across the top of the fret, like so. Get in at the corners, far side first, in at the corner near side, closest to the camera. Then again, over the top. And then I'll check my handiwork. I will get a magnifying glass, looking glass, so you can see. Can you see anything there? I have no idea. Can you see the first one? I can. And that's all that matters. And that looks, that's beautiful. So shiny, scratch free, light glass, super smooth. And just to show again, I'll show you another one. OTT over the top. Going to the corner at the far side. Right in there, going to the corner at the near side. Right in there. And over the top again. And there you go. Two done. Doesn't take too long. These look absolutely beautiful. But the thing is, for time, because I don't have a lot of time on, well, I do have time on my hands, it's just I have that much work in. I have 4 refrets in already this month and we're only second week in. So, yeah, but anyway, there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all these polished up. Once that's done, I'll be removing the tape, cleaning everything up, and install the new nut. I'm not going to film that, just going to get it in. I'll be going with a Graphtec PT 6643, which is the right one for this. I may have to just carve the edge a bit just to make it fit, but we'll get that in. And I'm basically going to come back and show you the results of all that work, the frets and the nuts, before we get into installing the new pickups. Like I say, I've got so much work in, I don't want to be spending too much time explaining too many things, and that's a little bit upsetting, but you know, it's not the end of the world. So anyway, I'll be back with an update in a bit. So, new nut. Tusk TUSQ man-made ivory there. It's not a 6643, it's a PQ6143 nut. I'm sure that's the right one, best be the right one. I think it is. I measure them properly. It may not be a direct fit. We soon find out. May need to just shave a little bit off it, but let's see how we go in there. Oh, that's more or less a direct fit. That's fantastic. It is too high by a long way. And is it too wide? It's pretty close. Just get you there. It is a gnat's nadger too wide, but that's so doable. It's a lot higher than it needs to be. Now, would it pay me to file some off the bottom there? I don't like removing stuff from the base of the nut. I think I will just shape this, just see where we are there. Okay, we do have a bit of a gap on this far side there, which means this nut shelf is not level. What we are going to do is we're going to get a file. Ever so carefully flatten this nut shelf. It's the smallest file I have. And I'm just going to flatten. Remove any of the old glue. Try not for it to go like that and like that as I move it. all we're doing at the moment really is removing any of the glue from the edge there, or from the surfaces. I can almost see a bit of an hole there. We need to get some really, really flat. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. There's no gap under this side of the nut now. It fits beautifully. I just need to slightly shape a little bit of these sides. I shall do that off camera with some sandpaper. I'll just have some sandpaper on the flat of a table and I'll just be going across like so, just shaping these edges. Once it's in, we're going to get this glued in. We're going to get the strings on and we're going to carve the nut with the strings on. But that is really good, and that nut is well high enough. Really pleased with that. So there's still a lot of work to go in this. I'm not really charging for cutting this nut. I should be charging 40 quid for this because there's still quite a lot of work to go, but that's okay. So you know pretty well much how this is going to work, like I've just explained there. We're going to cut that on the top with the strings on, and I'm going to do I'm probably going to do that all off camera because time is short. Welcome back, fret friends, with the frets all done, the nut on the guitar. We're moving on to installing the pickups, and we are going with Irongears, Irongear blues engine in the neck, and a dirty torque in the bridge. I've had a dirty torque one before, really good high output pickup. Here's the blues engine, and I'm just stripping the wires, and I'm not zooming in any more than I have. I've just stripped the wires, got them all ready for going in. It's just a matter of taking the old pickup off the pickup ring there, which I'm going to do now. I don't know if I can use the same screws. If I can, it'll make things a lot easier. I think these screws with the new pickups are a little bit longer. I don't really want that long, but yeah, we'll see. I do have a screwdriver somewhere. Using the same pickup rings. I don't need to use the same screws. I'll put these screws in with the original pickups. These original pickups are made by a company, well, they're stamped G&B pickup company, but I think I know that G&B pickups are actually made by Artec in Korea. And they're decent pickups. All Artec pickups are pretty good, but I don't think they're anything super spectacular. But anyway, this one in, and at the bottom, blah blah blah. Should I use? I'm going to use the pickup springs that came with the pickups, I think, and screws, because I know they'll fit. So a little bit fiddly. Just a matter of getting the pickup started. Pretty good. One on. I'm going to leave the plastic covers on until we've got the pickups in. I put the neck pickup in first because that's routed from the back through where the bridge pickup goes. You want to do this with the bridge pickup in. Hopefully we've got this in the right way. Have we got it in the right way? Yep, we have. Coils to the neck, or the screw slugs, should I say, to the neck. Anyway, does it go in that way? They normally go in that way. We are going to gradually route it through. Should be plenty of wire on here. I bit all the wires, they've been tinned. Nice big 10mm routed hole there. Clean them. What's hard to faff about? There you go. In there. course it wants to be a bit awkward, so plenty of wire left the other side, and we're certainly in the cavity there, so I know we're definitely in the cavity because I get quite a lot of resistance, it's pushing back somehow. So that one's in, we're going to put screws in there, tidy up a little. Screws we have, I need 6 for the back plate, set those aside. Nice, alright, the good thing about this, the finger screws are all the same. Pick up screws by the looks of it, 1 for there, 1, 2, 3, 4, says we're 1 missing, we'll find it, we'll find something else if not. Why is that so fat? That's strange. Who knows? I've taken the knobs off the pots because I may have to let the pots out of the guitar to solder the wires in. The neck volume I'm going to do to there. I'll make bridge volume the closest one. Both coils, I'm going to split coil on each, just on the tone. Push pull. I actually prefer push push. A lot easier to operate. You just push it and push it. That's exactly what it says on the tin. Push push. Right, there you go. That pickup is in. I'm missing the pickup screw. It's stuck in here in the corner. Probably in the corner losing its religion. That's exactly where it is. With the spotlight losing its religion. Where is it? I'm not sure. It's just a dream. So more pickup screws we can stick out of the way there. We've got the cover screws, all 6 of them there. So all that remains for me to do after I've got these pickups in is cut the nut. Right, we're just going to turn the guitar over. Let's see where we are. See in regard to soldering. Well, this is all the way through, which is great. Definitely going to have to pull out the pot for the push pull, because the split coil, because I can't get anything but all the other soldering connections I need to do I can do inside the guitar. I think red hot on the Irongears, the green and white joined together are the coil split, and the bare and the black are the earth. Do I think I can work inside the guitar? No, I do not. So I'm going to remove these pots. Great little gadget there. It's a knob puller, and it also loosens and tightens screws, or nuts should I say, not nuts, I'll be nuts and bolts, yeah, nuts. So we're just going to pop these off. Anyway, I don't need to show you all this. Just filling time. So video all off, so I'm going to turn the guitar over. Each one has a, look at this, the good thing about this is I can more or less get everything outside of the guitar. Okay, not that one, but these I can. Don't do wrapping anything around anything. Let's get everything freed up. So the most difficult one is the one I'm working on right now, which is this one. So I shall turn off the camera, get it all soldered up. I'll come back when it's all soldered up, all neat and tidy, and you can see what's in there. You don't need to see me soldering pickups, we all know how simple it is. I do have a control for my video, or I do have a video remote somewhere. What have I done with it? There you go, it's up there. Back soon, guys. Just a quick show of where we're at. The electrics are all back in. I've tested the pickups, they're all working, they're splitting properly, and it's all done. And I'm just gonna, can't really get low enough there, can I? Let's see if we can get, there you go. And that's the electrics in and all done. I'm gonna put the back plate on now. I'll show you the electrics all working once we've got the strings on. So I'm gonna move on to get the strings on now, get them in nut cut properly, and we can get final setup done. The guitar is now just about ready for restringing, but before I do restring it, I'm actually going to semi-carve some of these nut slots because I know some of these are a lot high. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in, I'm using my old Hosco set, 1046 set, you know how these work, do you know, oh gosh, what can I get there, yeah, 1046 set, that's a 1026, that's a 1336, and this is 1746, 2 cuts per blade. I'm going to go on the 46 side, and we're just going to carve into this nut and bring it down to closer to where I need it to be. But first, that nut slot not been as wide as I need it to be. I'm going to just go backwards, just so I can start, and there you go, I can now start cutting. So I'm just going to, I'll put these to the proper depth with the strings in, but I already know that this needs to go quite a lot further down than it is at the moment. And I'm slightly angling the file backwards just so it gives me a little bit of a break angle over there. They're going toward the tuner. But I just want to get somewhere, you know, closer than where I am at the moment, because I still know that's a little bit too high. That's enough for now, I think. We'll get a string in there and we'll check that in a minute. And that is looking pretty good. Not pressing now, just nice and gentle. Getting close to where it needs to be. Nice rounded bottom on there, and that's pretty good. I'm going to move on along to the next one, the 36, and we'll do the final shaping of the nut once the strings have been set. I'm just going to... And what we don't want to do is we don't want to go too deep, because we'll end up replacing the nut again. We don't want to be doing that. Always checking, always looking, keeping it nice and smooth. And we are getting there with that. So what I'm going to do is carry on with this off camera, get a bit closer, and we'll come and put some strings on, and we can do the final depth cutting on these slots, and then we can reshape the top and get it really close to where we need it to be. Okay, friends, back with this guitar, and it's all but done. Fitted the new nut, I've carved the nut slots and carved the top of the nut. We're just about 0.2 millimeters above the first fret on there. But what we're going to do now is we're going to test the electrics. So what we're going to do is going to put it on both pickups. That's both pickups on. Should be. There you go. I'm going to take a little dobber. So we know both are on. Both pickups on. Volume on the bridge, volume on the neck. We'll turn it off. We're going to do them individually in a minute, but we're going to do the coil splits first. That's both coils split, both coils full. So we're going to go to the bridge pickup, full, tone, volume, coil split, full. Neck pickup, full, tone, volume, full pickup, coil split. So the electric's are working properly, so I can now peel the plastic off of the pickups. We'll recap exactly what's been done on the guitar when I've got it in the right position. I've got the camera moved. By the way, I'm using my new camera today. This is my Panasonic HCW580, which I just bought last week. My Canon gave up. We got my SG, whatever it was, or HG20 gave up. We didn't give up the ghost, but the ribbon broke on the camera bit, and it wasn't turning the picture around to the right way up. It wasn't reorientating correctly. So I've got to buy that camera. I hope it's all right. Looks pretty good from here. Anyway, I'm going to turn the guitar. I'm going to move the camera, and we're going to sum up what has been done on this guitar. Let us sum up what we've done with the guitar. The bad thing about this Wi-Fi thing is I don't have a picture on the screen up there, which is a shame, but I'm just going to carry on. So, guitar came in, it needed a new player set up. It had 8 or 9 high frets, which I've sorted out. It wanted new pickups in there. We'll remove these standard pickups and replace them with a Irongears Dirty Talk in the bridge and a Blues engine in the neck. So it's a complete setup, new pickups, fret level, oh, and a brand new nut. The old nut, what a horrible piece of plastic rubbish that is. So we got rid of that, booted that out, put in a new Graphtec nut there, and here is the guitar. And it's still got the plastic covers on the back, and it looks great. But all of the frets have been reprofiled, we've levelled them, recrowned them, polished them all up. It looks really good. All I need to do now is peel the plastic off of the pickup, something I should have done before I put strings on, but I didn't. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, without scratching the pickups, we're going to peel them off. You know what, I'll do this off camera, because this is going to be a little more difficult than I thought it was. No, it might be alright. Here's one. Get this one off a little bit easier. No, twice as hard, but looks like we could do it if we just peel it that way, like so. And they are off. So let's hold up the guitar and have a look at it. So give it a wipe. Everything's been done on this guitar. All the nuts and bolts have been tightened, checked and tightened. We've redone the electrics, installed new pickups, done fret level, recrown, new nut, the whole shebang. Not cheap by any stretch of imagination, but the guitar is now set for a good many years as it's holding up. So ESP Ltd EC-256 pickup upgrade, and everything else I mentioned, but that is it. One thing annoying about this camera is I can see myself now if I'm looking down on here. That's not very good. Anyway, project is finished. I'm going to move on to the next one. So until next time, I'll just remind you of my website, facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. My name is Victor. I'm your fret friend. And until next time, as always, God bless you. Be good to each other. And I'll see you soon.